Leaders Aware everywhere. It's the Leaders Aware podcast, and I'm grateful that you're here with me today. Happy New Year to you. I hope you're excited about the new year and what's to come. I know I am, and I'm excited for you. And for that reason, this is why we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about today. All right, so we've gotten into 2025. It's the first week of 2025, the first full week that is. And I want to make sure that you are truly prepared for 2025. Truly prepared. I know by now you've probably already gotten your resolutions aligned. You've gotten your goals ready for 2025. But I want to ask you a question. Are you truly finished with 2024? Have you closed out the books on 2024? Truly close out the book. Have you really finished? Because if you have not finished, if you did not close out the file for 2024, you might run the risk of sabotaging your 2025. And I don't want that for you. So this is what we're going to do. Let me tell you about how you do this. Have you reviewed your 2024 yet? How about that? I love those pauses, and I do that on purpose, by the way. Have you reviewed your 2024? It is important. It is actually critical into moving into the new year to make sure that you have done this trio, this trifecta, shameless plug, the trifecta of these three things. Before you can really set your goals, your strategies for 2025, you have to do these three things. Celebrate, evaluate, and navigate. This 2024, okay? So this is how it works. We have to look back over 2024 and figure out what went well. What do we need to celebrate? What is worth celebrating? And identify those things. Then those bad things that might have happened, those things that not went so well in 2024 or the previous year, let's evaluate those things. What went wrong? And evaluate that. And not necessarily just the bad things, but also the good things. We can evaluate the good as well, because we need to understand, why did we succeed at what we succeeded in? Why did we fail at what we failed in? Was it because you had a mentor, because you had a coach that you were able to succeed? I know for me personally, 2024 was a year of accountability for me. Networking groups, coaching, mentoring, counseling. All those four things were part of my life in 2024. And I believe that I had a lot of great momentum in 2024. However, I was able to identify those things that made me successful in 2024. That accountability, mentor, counseling, coaching. Those were four things that helped me progress last year. So, of course, I'm going to do them again this year. And that's where the navigation comes into play. We celebrate what went well, because we have to give ourselves a pat on the back. I don't care who you are. Maybe you say, you know what, that was in the past. No, celebrate. Clap it up. Be excited about that. But also understand why as we move forward. We're celebrating what went well. We're evaluating what went well and what went wrong and why. It's because that will help us navigate forward. If we do not have the correct trajectory for our navigation plans, the point for 2025, it will be unsuccessful. Or not, let me not say that. It won't be as successful as it can be. Leaders Aware, I know you're doing big things, and it is vitally important that the goals you have set actually come to pass, that you achieve those goals, right? So that's why these three things this trifecta is important for 2024. Here's another thing. So also, as I went back and evaluated my previous year, I realized that in the evaluation process that there were certain things that caused certain of my goals, specific goals, not to be successful as I was looking back. And there were two things for me. And this is why I can identify what I need to do in 2025. So no matter what goal I set now in 2025, it will in part exponentially increase the likelihood of it succeeding because I understood why certain things did not go as planned in 2024. Two things. Number one, personal pressure. I realized in 2024, there were certain moments in time where I did not have the personal fortitude or the drive to do what I needed to get done. It is what it is. It's the truth. I'm going to be transparent here. This is Leaders Aware. This is our tribe. This is our community. So I feel like I can say that to you, right? We can talk like that. So I realized that there was always external pressure, whether it was the job that made me say, you know what, I need to make sure I do more for myself than I'm doing for other people as it relates to my goals. So that was a driving force. Or maybe it was a particular deadline from my wife. She's, oh, you need to get this done. And I'm like, oh, wow, I do need to get this done because I need to ... for her, right? And although these things are good, there's also an element of personal pressure that I need to provide. Again, this is me. This is Alfonso D. Jones II, and this is my truth. And it may be different for you, but you will only know when you evaluate. So for 2025, personal pressure is one of the things that I'm going to be intentional about. I need to identify the things that will drive me. So when I remove the element, if the job doesn't put pressure on me, if my uneasiness about where I am in life does not push me, I have to decide, you know what? It's because I want better for me, not the uneasiness. I just want better for me. I want this goal because it's going to do this for my family. It's going to do this for my children and my wife and the mindset of them both. It's personal. And then the second one, the right routines. And this is the one I feel like can potentially apply for everyone. And this is for all of our Leaders Aware. The right routines. So last year, there was a potential shift halfway. There were things that I was doing that were good for sustaining where I was, but not elevating to where I really wanted to be. The routines were good for sustaining, but not for elevating. And if I wanted to stay where I am, if I wanted to stay where I was, then yes, I can keep doing those same routines. However, my goal is growth. So I have to make sure that the routines that I have in place are actually producing an elevation and not just a sustaining. I'll give you an example. So let's talk about some routines. Let's talk about sports. They're probably the easiest to identify. So let's say if we're doing a sprinter, right? Running track. We want that sprinter wants to get faster. So we set up an exercise routine for that sprinter that deals with all upper body workout. Only upper body workouts. We're going to do some triceps. We're going to do some biceps, shoulder workouts, and no leg, no cardio, no leg, just upper body workouts. Now, are those routines, are they going to be consistent? Oh man, yes, it's going to be for good health for your arms and your shoulders, but not for your legs. So it's not the right routine. It is a routine, but it's not the right routine. And that is where we get into the weeds, right? These are the details. Is it the right routine? And it has to be the right routine for you. It has to be the right routine in order to achieve the goal that you have set. So the goal is good, but the routine is very important. It's better. So in order for us to move up in 2025, we have to look back first. We're reviewing. So without these things in play, as a matter of fact, there is a quote, Robin Sharma. He says, don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life. Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life. I got another one for you. Benjamin Franklin said this. Most men die at 25, but aren't buried until 75. And I believe that is because of the lack of these three things: the celebration, the evaluation, the navigation, the right routines. That oftentimes we find ourselves replaying the same year. Yes, the calendar has a brand new number on it, but ultimately we are reliving the same year. We have new goals, but we're doing the same routines. No personal pressure. We're not evaluating. We don't have a new trajectory for our navigation. And because of that, we find ourselves in a rut. Year after year after year after year after year. So I want you to be able to understand what it is that went well, what went not so well, and why, so that we can not just sustain, but we can elevate. Because if I know one thing that is true, over time I've found out, and through research, that goals unmet can produce a certain low self-esteem. It can produce a blockage. It can produce a state of mind where we internally believe that we are not capable. And that's not true. It's so far from the truth. When all we have to do is apply these principles, and these principles will start helping us to move the needle. And this is all that I'm talking about today. We're trying to move the needle. You have big things in store for you. You already have it in your mind. But can I ask you this question? What is the thing that's in your mind currently that you've kicked to the side? You've kicked it to the curb because you failed at it so many times. And might I suggest that you apply these principles and try it one more time. It's in your heart, it's in your head, but you failed too many times to pick it up again. Do me a favor, try these principles. Review the goal. What do we have to celebrate? What do we need to evaluate? And then how can we navigate forward? Did we apply the right routine? This can potentially be the catalyst to your success, not just this year, but for all the years to come, to where we will no longer relive the same year over, but we will always progress. Always progress. What is that thing that you're going to do? What goal are you going to apply these principles to? I want you to pick one. I need you to write it down. After you finish listening to this, I want you to write it down so you can look at it and then apply the principles to it. I'm telling you, this thing will be a game changer. It's not, it can be a game changer. It will be a game changer. I don't know if you understand how much the right routine can make even the most difficult goal attainable. However, the wrong routine can make the simplest goal seem impossible. Think about that. So let's finish off our 2024. Let's make sure we have finished the file of 2024 and then apply the principles that we've established into our goals for 2025. You can do this. I believe in you. You're ready. You've been ready. Sometimes you just don't have the right tools. And today, hopefully, we've applied and supplied you with the tools necessary to make 2025 the best year ever. Starting with today. Leaders aware, we are now aware. And because we are aware, we do better. Listen, I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm grateful for you. And I'll see you next time.